What's going on, everybody? War right here. Today I want to bring a D&D build that I'll be working on to run in a campaign with some LNCK crew. It's going to be soldier inspired, the modern day soldier, my rendition into a D&D world. I spent 6 years in the army. I thought it'd be really neat to kind of portray what that meant to me and what that would kind of look like in a fantasy world. Obviously, there's no guns, there's no, grenades per se, there's no heavy armor vehicles, there's no electronics, and so on and so forth. So this is going to be, stripped down to what would be a soldier in the Dungeons and Dragons realm, whatever realm that our dungeon master decides to take us in. So without further ado, I will bring you Valric Luth, the fighter human. Okay, so I've intentionally left a couple things blank. I'm only filled in a few. So I got the name, obviously. I got the class I'm going with in the background, soldier being the natural fit for the type of character I'm doing. And I decided to go with human race. So the next thing I'm going to actually do is I'm going to go ahead and roll my actual stats here. I'm going to roll 8 times. I'm going to drop the highest and lowest stats. And I'm going to have those stats on the screen for you next. So let me go ahead and get those rolling and then we'll go. Okay, so I went ahead and rolled, and I got my 8 rolls there on the screen on the right there. So I'm going to drop the top and the bottom scores. So the 17 and the 6 are going to get dropped. And the rest of them I'm going to plug in into my core stats. So 15 being the next highest, I'm going to go ahead and plug that right into dexterity because I'm going to be a bow user. So I'm definitely going to want to have the highest possible dexterity I can get my hands on. So we're going to put that 15 in there. And then the next 15 I'm actually going to put in Constitution. Okay, because I do want to have a fairly high Constitution for what I'm kind of going with here. The next one is going to be a 13. So the 13 I'm actually going to throw in Intelligence. Because I want to be a smart soldier. Soldier's greatest responsibility and his greatest asset is his knowledge and his mind. So that's where we're going to put the intelligence. The next stat I kind of have that I want to throw in because I want it to be there is going to be a 7 in charisma. Soldiers haven't always been known to be the easiest to talk to, so I'm gonna kind of go with that bit there. I'm not a man of words. I'm more of a man of actual action. So we're gonna put that there. And then so that leaves what, a 9 and an 8. So with the wisdom, we're gonna go with a 9 for wisdom, and we're gonna go an 8 in strength. Simply because again, my weapon of choice is gonna be a bow. So strength isn't gonna be a huge necessary item for me. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for my stats. So, as we recap, we got an 8 in strength, a 15 in dexterity, 15 in constitution, 13 in intelligence, 9 in wisdom, and a 7 in charisma. I'm not very balanced, but that's okay. I'm able to put the stats where I want them, and then we're going to go ahead and add our ability modifiers here. Okay, so I went ahead and added all the stats in there and added the ability modifiers with the human racial of a +1 to each. So they ended up being a 9, a 16, a 16, 14, 10, and 8, which equates to a -1 in strength, +3 in dexterity and constitution, a +2 in intelligence, a 0 in wisdom, and a -1 in charisma. So again, I'm not super balanced. Ironically, really low on strength, but again, I'm going to be an archery based, so that's kind of where that goes. Now with the fighter, I'm choosing 2 skills from the acrobatics, animal handling, athletics, history, insight, intimidation, perception, and survival. So my thought on this, I kind of was thinking it'd be really cool to, be basically high in animal handling, where I could be mounted on a horse or on another type of animal. And also, I was thinking high in perception. Perception just meaning, very aware of my surroundings, used to, military formations and movement, and recognizing and being able to account for those types of things. So that's going to where I'm going to kind of put it. So we're going to go the 1 in the animal handling, and we're going to do 1 in perception. Reason why I'm also kind of looking at that is it's also going to give me a bonus to those wisdom abilities. So I'm going to be a little better off on any type of checks and whatnot that we have to go through. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in all the rest of these dots and these totals, and then we'll keep going here. Okay, so we went ahead and filled in some more of the stats here. So my proficiency bonus is 2, and my initiative is 3 based on my dexterity. And my skills kind of pan out as you see here. You got your acrobats, arcana, so on and so forth. Plus 2s, plus 3s. Dexterity plus 3s, plus 2s in the intelligence. And then I also added the proficiencies I have, the all armor and shields, simple and martial weapons based on the fighter class. And my wisdom is a passive 10. And then D10 is the hit dice based on fighter again, and you start with 13 hit points. The next thing is going to be your armor class that I'm going to put in there. And I'm going to go ahead and decide how I want to go with the armor. It's probably just going to be the basic startup. What else did I fill in? So I also filled in my age. I'm 34 years old. That's not my actual age at time of recording. 5'10", 155, brown hair, light skin, brown eyes. Backwards, wow, GG. That's more or less what I look like. So that's kind of what I did. Pretty basic as far as that goes, but that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the weapons, the armor, and then we'll get into the personality traits, ideals, bonds, flaws, and the soldier class stuff that we may or may not get. Alright, so what I decided to do the alternate roll on the GPs. I ended up rolling and got 150 gold out of the deal. So I bought a chain shirt, longbow, short sword, 40 arrows, and a backpack, which left me with 36 GP. So those numbers, the only number that would transpose up would be the armor class of 15 based on that. The other things I added, some fighting style information, archery plus 2 bonus to attack rolls made with ranged weapons, and the second wind, which is both fighter things. 1d10 hit point plus level once per long or short rest. So that covers that part there. And I did choose Elven as my second language, just because I don't really care what other language it is, to be honest with you. And the backstory will kind of say, state that, as allies with the elves, sometimes the, military actions would, be beneficial to help with Elven, I guess. So anyway, so that's kind of what I went with. So I didn't, like I said, I didn't really utilize any of the soldier stuff specific. I just went with the alternate role. And then the Insignia Crest of the 17th Legion Black Horse, which that was the unit that my character was part of before he left the army. Which that'll kind of bleed into backstory a little bit, I suppose, as we kind of develop that. So that's where we're at. So next thing we're going to go ahead and do is plug in my attacks and whatnot. Actually, you know what? No, we're not. We're going to go up and do the personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws. Okay, so what I decided to do here is actually roll all the traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws. And in the 5e handbook, which all this information is coming in 5e, but just so everybody knows that all you need is the 5e handbook to build this character. So the first one ended up being I'm always polite and respectful, which was a roll of a 1 on a d8. The next one, responsibility. I do what I must and obey just authority, which is lawful, which is a roll of 2. And then for the bonds, it was I fight for those who cannot fight for themselves, which was a roll of a 6. And then for the flaws, I obey the law even if the law causes misery, which is a 5. Ironically, that works out really, really well for a soldier who is about following orders, is about fighting for the greater good, about fighting for what is right. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. I'm going to be a very stoic, straightforward, honorable man. And that's almost exactly what I'm looking for anyway. So I'm really happy that worked out the way it did. So now I'm going to go ahead and plug in the alignment, and it's going to be a lawful good alignment. That lawful good is going to fit really well with what I'm going for, and that did not type. Why it didn't type, I don't know. But we'll get it typed in and we'll come back. Okay, I think we are just about wrapped up here. So, last couple things I wanted to add. This is more down the backstory and the soldier and kind of just my spin-off on things. So, just some allies and organizations. I'm a veteran of the 17th Legion Dark Horse. Rank held of sergeant, and that puts me in the 17th Legion. Okay, so that's kind of an organization and a symbol that I'm kind of hold true to my heart. And then the backstory. So here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and read you the backstory I kind of just typed out and kind of go with. Okay, so here we go. I have seen many things and fought in many lands. My fellow soldiers and I have been through many trials and tribulations, the old wars, the trying time. That is now all in the past. My time of service has come to an end. What does a soldier do when all I have known is to serve? I have spent the last 10 years of my life helping who could not help themselves to go where my men were told to go without question. We left our mark in this world with compassion and, when necessary, bloodshed. My life has been fulfilling and humbling, seeing men and women struggle to feed their children while being persecuted by their so-called rulers and gods. The 17th Legion has left their marks in the hearts and minds of friend and foe. I feel, truly in my heart, the world is and will be a better place because of what my men and I have done. Thousands of years of tyranny wiped clean from this earth. Age-long battles of ideals stripped down to a choice of each man and woman in the lands. Now I forge my own path, a path of continued good. That, folks, is Valeric Luth, level 1 fighter. Main weapon is a longbow with a short sword, sidearm, if you will. So that's gonna be what I kind of roll with. Should be interesting. I'm kind of excited to play it. I hope it works out in the scheme of things. Just keep this in mind. If you want to check out the actual character being played, it's gonna be on twitch.tv/LNCK Gaming. I'll have the link down in the notes in the bottom. This spreadsheet, I'm sorry, not the spreadsheet, the editable Dungeons and Dragons character sheet you can find online. I'll actually leave a link for that as well because it's actually really super handy. We also play it on Roll20. So again, I'll go ahead and leave a link for all those things. Nice little things to be able to use if you want to get some D&D going. If you have some friends that want to do it, if you want to try and get into games, they have like looking for a group on there. It's actually really cool. So anyway, that's going to do it for me. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out and watching me make this character. I hope this inspires you to make your own. Also, leave a comment in the bottom if you want to. I was thinking about making more characters. So if there's something you kind of wanted to make or give me some ideas, I can make a character and kind of post it for you guys and see if you like them. Also, do me a favor, hit that sub button, like the video. Again, if this is something that is enjoyed by some people or can, like I said, inspire some people, we'll keep it going. And that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your day, night, morning, whatever the case. That's going to do it for me. Thanks a lot. Bye now.